I want to start this video off by making two things incredibly clear. One, I have an immense amount of adoration for Hins. He's a fantastic content creator, one that I greatly respect, and one that I hope to one day have on my Conversations by Daylight series. Criticisms of his arguments or opinions is not criticism of him as a person. If you hold someone in such high regard you can't handle criticisms of their opinions, then you need to seriously reconsider the way you yourself form opinions. And number two, if any attempt to counter-argue me will be to bring up my hours, I don't want to hear it. If you cannot counter my arguments without bringing playtime into it, then your arguments fail from that point. Now, let's get into the video. So up until recently, I was a Billy main. I played the character every single day. I found him fun, engaging, strong, and all around the best time I had in Dead by Daylight in a long time. I made a video recently announcing my boycott of the character until behavior removes crouch teching and or fixes his collision, so I'm actually hitting survivors I clearly touch and not banging off of bits of leaf 75 feet away from me. That video got met with mostly understanding. There were a few idiots in the comment section, but this is YouTube after all, so I don't expect anything less, to be honest. In any case, of any killer in this game, the one I know the most about and the one I feel the most confident in speaking on is the Hillbilly. Now, a while back from me writing this, Hins posted a picture on Twitter essentially declaring Billy the third most powerful killer in the game, overtaking the Spirit and putting him in S tier. I disagreed with that, as while Billy is incredibly close to S tier, his map dependency is still too high for him to get into S, and as such, Spirit still reigns over him. And I kind of forgot about that post, but then I saw Hins post a video pitting a comp Blight and a comp Billy against a comp team, and suddenly it all made sense. The thing you gotta realize about Hins is that he sees things from a very comp-tilted perspective. This isn't a bad way to go about things, it's just different from the way that I view power levels. Now, to be fair to Hins, his video did have several non-restricted matches and several different maps as testing grounds. However, I think it's still worth it to remember that of the maps played, Thompson House, Blood Lodge, Wrecker's Yard, Leary's, and Sheltered Woods, only one of these maps is considered greatly unbalanced, and only one of those maps is a map where Billy suffers but Blight excels. Leary's is a shining example of a map that shuts down Billy's power. The fact that Billy on this one match was able to get two people in the basement is what secured his 4K, because a Billy being able to guard the basement is as dangerous as a Bubba being able to do the same. But the amount of safe windows, safe pallets, god pallets, and god windows on Leary's makes Billy's life a nightmare. I honestly would have loved to see the full games on Leary's, because I'm almost willing to bet the discrepancy came not from the power of the killers, but from the mistakes survivors might have made. I could be wrong, and maybe the Billy player just had good circumstances and caught survivors out more often, but a map like Leary's, hell, most indoor maps are absolutely hell for Billy. His collision just can't handle it. What this all pretty much boils down to is when I'm talking about killer power levels, I take a lot of things into account. But one of the main things I think about is reliancy. How consistent are the killers in how many situations? In this case, both Blight and Billy have extremely good anti-loop, anti-pallet, map traversal, map presence, pressure spreading, chase powers. They aren't reliant on perks or add-ons to do all of these things consistently. But the one thing Blight has over Billy is Blight has much better control in claustrophobic environments, which is exactly what Billy suffers in. And in open areas where Billy excels, Blight can also excel, because even if there's less bump surfaces, Blight can still make it pretty far on one rush, and he has the 115 movement speed to traverse the open areas better to get himself in better spots to use his bumps. No matter how much Billy tries, tight claustrophobic maps like Leary's, Gideon's, RPD, and Toba Landing will always be his downfall, and he'll have to default to using more M1s than his actual power most of the time. All this to say, I don't think Hins is wrong. In a comp setting where we can choose the maps, I think Billy probably does beat out Blight, because open area and balanced maps are the norm. And in those environments, Billy does everything Blight does, but when Billy does it, you just die. But in a public setting where map RNG is your biggest enemy, I just don't see Billy excelling. There's too much writing on what map you get, and Blight simply does not have as much restrictions on his power as Billy does. Crouch teching against Blight isn't as consistent as it is against Billy. Blight can deal with windows better, tight spaces are Blight's dream come true, and Billy's worst nightmare. It all comes down to consistency in public matches for me, and Blight simply is more consistent because he doesn't have maps that just turn off his power like Billy does. But that's not to say that I'm not open to being wrong. I think it'd be interesting to see a top Blight and a top Billy play, say, 25 public matches or something each, and see how well they each do in those environments. But of course, I want to know what you think. Let me know down below. And a big shout out to Hins for these showcases. And if you see this video video, hens. I hope you're doing well today. As always, I do want to give a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Can't get enough daily Dead by Daylight content? Then check out my second channel, The Kaiser Extras, where I upload gameplay footage, me reacting to your Dead by Daylight clips, and more. We also have a new short that goes live every single day, so you can catch up on all the greatest clips from stream. We'll see you over there. Link is in the description.